Unmarket Your Business, the podcast, born out of the need to share strategies and techniques that really work to market your business. Think yellow page ads and cold calls are your only choices? That's so last century. You're about to learn tested, tried and true marketing techniques you can apply and master, ones that feel authentic instead of salesy, strategies that are true to who you are and how you want to present yourself to your ideal clients. Let's join our host, Carol Joyce Dunlop, in the studio now and allow business success to move forward. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Carol J. Dunlop, your online wow strategist, hostess for Unmarket Your Business podcast and Amazon #1 international bestseller for my book, Unmarket Your Business, 10 Ways for Savvy Entrepreneurs to Stand Out, Stop Struggling, and Start Profiting. How are you doing today? I know this is a little bit late that I'm coming on, but, you know, hey, life gets in the way, business gets in the way, stuff gets in the way sometimes. But I did not want you to miss out on this episode, so I made it a point to record this for you, especially. I just set aside time, and I told my husband I got to do it. So I am doing this now. I'm so glad that you are able to stop by and listen to it because I have something very, very special for you. Today we're talking about how to get your book to bestseller. And you're going to want to stick around because when I started my author journey, my goal was always to get bestseller. But I surpassed that and I reached Amazon #1 international bestseller. And today I'm going to show you how you can do it too. It is not that hard, I promise you. You're listening to the Unmarket Your Business podcast. All right, so it's not hard to get bestseller. You just need to know a few things, some crucial steps in order to achieve this goal. And since I'm going to tell you right now, let's see, I have 6 of them. And if you follow them, I promise you, you're going to do this too. Because when I started out with my book and actually started putting it together and figuring out that I actually wanted to get bestseller, you may say, why, Carol? Why did you want to get bestseller? Because it's a thing. It's a thing that I can say with my book. I'm an Amazon #1 bestseller, or I could say I'm a best-selling author, or I could say I'm #1 best-selling author, but I actually surpassed it and went to international. And I want you to do that too, because you know what? You're working hard on your book. You're setting aside time. You're writing. You're correcting. You're adding research and information, and you're putting a lot of time and energy and effort and money into this thing. Why not take it to the top level that it can be and do the best you can do with it, because you deserve it, right? You're an author now, or soon to be author, or maybe you hadn't even thought about being an author, but you're going to be an author. It's tremendous. I can't explain to you how good it feels to get that book delivered to you and you actually have it in your hands and you're holding it in your hands. You're a little book baby and you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, all this that went into it. Yeah, and even if you don't get it done as a paperback, which you should, but maybe not for this one, maybe the next time, even if you don't get it done as a paperback, then just seeing it published, listed among these other books, and then to see it rise up through the ranks and go to bestseller and all that. And you may think, oh my God, I could never do it, but it's not true. It is definitely not true. You can do it, and I'm going to show you. I've got 6 ways. So #1, and this is the most important because that's why I made it #1, write a great book. And I know. I see you rolling your eyes in your head right now saying, come on, Carol, really? Is that what you're really saying? Write a great book, that's what I got to do. Yeah, I mean, all the stuff that I'm going to tell you after this is null and void, won't do any good if you don't write a great book. And by writing a great book, I mean a book that solves a problem that your audience has. Again, your book solves a problem that your audience has, because you have to have an audience for this book. You have to have somebody that is waiting to read it, that when you finish hot off the press, they're going to get it, and they're going to read it, they're going to dive into it, and they're going to say, wow, that really helps me to do something or feel something or become something or transform my life or made it easier for me to do this other thing. So if your book does that for people, then you got a great book. And through your story, your system, or your secrets, you can actually make this all come true. Now, of course, I want you to have good grammar. And of course, I want you to have good layout. And of course, I want you to make the book appealing so that when your story is read, that people resonate with it, they understand it and all that. But it still has to, number one, it has to solve a problem. Because that's why you write the book in the first place, right? You want it to solve a problem. So if you're thinking, okay, I'm going to put my memoir out there and I'm going to tell people how I got through this thing and how I made it to the other side, people do not care. I'm going to tell you again, people do not care about your story and how you got from A to C or A to Z and what you did in between. They don't care about that stuff. They care that you did it and they can do it too because y'all are similar. The problem that they have has been solved, and you're showing them that in your book, you're laying it out. You can solve this problem. I solved the problem. Now I'm going to help you solve the problem. If you follow what I did, you can do it too. If you follow my system, my 12-step, 10-step, 20-step, 30-day, 40-day, 2-day, 5-week cleanse or program or system that I laid out, you're going to solve this problem. And if you can tell them in the beginning, this is what you're going to do. This is why you need to read this book. This is what I'm teaching you in this book. This is how you're going to accomplish this goal in this book. Then people will read it. So that's what I mean by writing a great book. Because even if you have the best story in the world and it doesn't do anything for anybody or doesn't make anybody feel any kind of way or it doesn't make them think differently or transform their life, it's really not a great book. It's really not going to help you hit number one because nobody's going to read it. So number one, write a great book. Number two, I want you to hire a designer. Now, I know that you think that your little PowerPoint presentation, your PowerPoint designs, the things that you have created on your own using Microsoft Word or whatever, not that they're a bad system, it's just that you're not a designer. That is not your lane. That is not what you do. And if you want a bestseller, not even a number one bestseller, but just a bestseller, you need to hire a designer. You need to hire somebody who's going to make your vision come to life. They know the colors to use. They know the colors to blend together. They know the images. Because when you think about it, your cover is the first thing that someone sees when they're looking for a book. When they're online searching for a book, or when they're even in the store, think about that, in Barnes & Noble or some other bookstore, and your book is right there. When they're looking on the shelves, you want your book to stand out. Now, especially online, you want your book to stand out because they just show that little 150 by 150 pixel cover. And you want to make sure that it stands out among the others. It looks interesting enough that somebody's going to say, hey, let me look at that. What is that title? Oh, I see. Let me go deeper into that. So how can you get a great design? Well, I want you to go to the library or go to your nearest Barnes & Noble or other bookstore, and I want you to look at the other books that are in your genre and see what type of covers there are for that type of book. Now, don't get me wrong. All covers are not the same. You would not have the same cover for one of those romance novels as you do for a business book. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to appeal to the same audience. The colors, the characters, whoever, whatever the design is not going to appeal. And there are certain genres that have certain fonts that they like to use. People are expecting a certain look, a certain placement of the title. I know it sounds like a lot. Take a deep breath. It's okay. So that's why you're better off hiring a designer, or at the least, if you have to do it, if you're like, Carol, I don't have any money, I can't do this, then you need to do some research. You could possibly do it and it turn out okay, but I would feel better if you just bite the bullet, hire a designer. And the good thing is you can go to Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Go to Fiverr, and they were not going to charge you that much. They used to charge $5 for everything, but still, even if you pay $50 for a great design, how awesome would that be, right? So think about that. hire a designer. And I don't want you to just hire any designer. I want you to talk to them, and I want you to make sure that they've done some books before, and what kind of books have they done. If you're writing a memoir, you don't want to hire somebody who has just done technical journals or something like that, because that's not the same. So interview them, see what kind of books they've done, see what kind of designer they are. And if you may want to take a chance on a designer, but just definitely interview them and make sure that what you're telling them that you want to see on that book cover, you actually see when it's finished. Because if you spend a few weeks getting the thing designed and they show it to you and you're like, oh my God, what is that? Then you've just wasted some time, and you've lost valuable time, and I don't want that to happen to you. So I design books. I've designed a lot of covers. I did my own cover, and the design of it is what helped it. It was one of the things I know that helped it to become an Amazon #1 bestseller. So look at that. All right, number 3. I want you to create an awesome title, because your title is what tells people, first of all, your title is like the intro to the book itself. It's the thing that lets people know this is what this book is about. And it has to be like exciting. It has to answer the questions that the people are thinking about already. Remember, you're writing your book to solve a problem. Number 1, you're writing your book to solve a problem. So if you don't have a good title, no one is going to get past that graphic, even if it looks awesome, and because they look at the graphic and the next thing they're looking at is your title. What is this book about? Oh, that sounds kind of dull. Even if your graphics are awesome sauce, if your title is or a 1 or a 2 and it should be a 10 or a 12, people are not going to look at that book, I'm telling you. So you've got to make it stand out. And you do that by using your keywords, and your keywords are the things that you come up with so that people will actually look at your book and, see and want to dive in more. Because the first thing to do is they see the title, and then they look at the graphic, and then they go, I'm going to take a chance on that. Because it's like I'm giving up some the user, the person that's looking at it, is giving up some very precious time to stop their scrolling, stop their looking, and go and check out your book. So you want to make sure that you're not making them feel like they wasted their time. You want them to feel like, wow, this is awesome. I need to go see this. I need to go and, check this thing out. And my colleague, Lynda, has come up with a great masterclass that shows you how to create an awesome title. Because if you don't hook them with that title, they're not going to go any further. And you can actually get to take this free masterclass that's happening on this Monday, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get this information out to you, by going to tinyurl.com/Carol Book Title. So tinyurl, tinyurl.com/Carol, CAROL, book, BOOKTITLE. So go there, sign up for that masterclass, take it, create your awesome sauce title, so that now you've got a great book that you're writing, you've hired a designer that's going to bring your vision to life, and you've got an awesome title. Because what if they don't know anything about the book, they can't see that little graphic? At least you know that title is going to stand out and make them say, let me go check this thing out, because that's really what you want, right? All right, so the next thing, and these are really cool, I'm so glad about this, is choosing the right category. So number 4 is choosing the right category. Now, you may have heard a lot of people say, I'm a bestseller in this category, I'm a bestseller overall, I'm this or I'm that. But that has everything to do with your category. And why? Because there are thousands of categories on Amazon right now. So if you choose a category, let's say marketing, my book is about marketing, and I did choose a category about marketing, but the main marketing category is huge. I mean, there's like millions of books there, right? Or thousands, I guess. I'm thinking there's probably millions, but everybody wants to talk about marketing because if you market right, then you can sell, and if you sell, you make money. So if you just stick your little book in there and you're going up a bit against other big gurus who are selling, your book will never, ever be found. I hate to tell you, but I'm here to tell you the truth. It will never be found. I mean, even if you have the best title since sliced bread, your graphic is awesome, and you do write a great book, it's got to get found. So choosing the right category is imperative. And one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to just go and pick a category that nobody even knows anything about. Maybe your book is about marketing, for instance, and you go and choose a category, let's see, Eskimo shoes. How many people are searching for Eskimo shoes? So somebody happens to find your book on marketing and they buy it. Man, you're probably going to be a bestseller in that category. But Eskimo shoes, really? Come on, your category needs to be relevant to your book, and it needs to be small enough so that when you do sell, you're selling the most out of that category. That's going to be key. So how do you find that out? You have to research it. You have to research, and you have to go on to Amazon itself, and you have to look and see what categories are popular and what categories, what are the keywords that people will be looking for your book, and what are the categories that match that, and see how many books are in that category. And you can do all that online on Amazon. They tell you everything. Nothing is hidden. And that's exactly what I did. I picked, in the beginning, I used a secret that I'm going to tell you about in the next two points. But, well, I used in the next 1 point. The next two is something else, but the next 1 point. And I did my original categories that Amazon, I did the research and I looked it up and I was like, okay, these are good. These are good categories for me to go with. And I think I had 3 of them lined up. But guess what? Number 5, this is the kicker. Did you know that there are more categories, additional categories that no one knows about? Yes, there are. And I found out through doing my due diligence and researching. So actually, probably about 35% of the self-publishing people have no idea about these secret categories that Amazon has. And why? Because you can't see them. They're not selectable in the Kindle Direct Publishing dashboard. They only give you, I think it's like 4 or 5 to choose from, and they say you can only pick 1 or 2 or something. I don't really even remember. But when you pick those, that's all you get. And you're like, oh, well, how are these other people doing this? Well, there is a secret. Amazon has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of other categories, but they're there to help you get your book into them. And I found them out by going to kindlepreneur.com. And if you go to the description on this episode, and you can find that whatever you're listening on, if it's Stitcher or if it's Anchor, or even on my website or Spreaker, any of them, in the description I'll have the actual link about how you get to those categories. But it's really, really simple. First, you just go to your Author Central, and that's authorcentral.amazon.com. It's a little long here, /GP/help/contact us. It's actually on the Kindle Direct page. And on that Contact Us form, under Select an Issue, you select My Books, and under Select Details, you select Update Information about my book. And in the fields that appear, you select Browse Categories, and then in number 4, you put then I want to browse categories in the product details section. And then you can pick out the other categories that you want. And you have to put the whole path in there of what you want. For instance, I'm looking online at the Kindlepreneur thing, and they have an example. The category path should look something like this, hashtag or, number sign, Kindle Store, and then they have the little, greater than sign, Kindle eBooks, greater than sign, romance, greater than sign, anthology. So that is extra category that's not going to show up, and you get to put in there. Now, some of the categories, they actually require you to unlock some keywords, and your book has to do a certain thing to be in there. But for most of them, I didn't have to do that, so you don't have to do that either. So number 4 is choose the right category for your book. Make sure it's relevant to what you're writing about, relevant to what your audience is looking for, and then you can actually score big and become a bestseller in that category. And then number 5 is I actually want you to use this little-known secret. It is a secret, right? If only 35% of the people know about it, it is definitely a secret that Kindlepreneur tells you about, and unlock those additional categories. I know you can do it. So we come to number 6. Number 6 is what I did was I wrote a description, a really cool description about my book on my Amazon page. And not only did I tell a story about my book, what it's about, and why you should read it, because that should be in your description. What is your book about, why should you read it, and what are you going to get out of reading this thing? So you kind of put that together into, it's not going to be that long. I mean, probably 100 words or less. I can't remember exactly, but, give a real good description. Make it exciting that, you want people to read this. But the kicker is, if you've ever looked on the Amazon page and you see some of the descriptions, they have like a bold headline, and they have some words that are maybe bolded, and then they have bulleted lists. How do they do that? Well, again, same website, KINDLEpreneur.com, has an automatic description generator, because guess what? Amazon has some special HTML that they will allow on that page. So if you use this generator, you can actually just put in, whatever you've written in Word or whatever, just stick it in there, and then very easily and very simply you can use the tools that they have here and make your description stand out, and it'll generate the code. You can do stuff like bold some stuff. You can italicize, you can underline, you can strike through. You can use subscript or superscript, meaning, you can make some stuff higher than the other. You can use a horizontal line. You can use a ordered list with number, or an unordered list with bullets. You can change font sizes. It's so cool. And it's very easy to do. It's just, if you know how to use Microsoft Word or any kind of editing thing, then you could do this. You just write your stuff up in Word. Please write it up and get it all finished, and make sure you have no grammar mistakes. All your commas are there, all that stuff. You may want to get your copy editor to look at it and just or get somebody to eyeball it and make sure it's okay. And then when you put the characters in it, when you copy and paste it into the generator, and then you go through and you can change the sizes, bold stuff, underline stuff, and then you hit generate my code, and it gives you the code that you need to put into Amazon. I swear it was so cool. I was so lucky and fortunate, not just lucky, fortunate, because I was actually doing research to have found this thing. And I'm like, man, this is totally awesome. I cannot believe it. This is great. Because otherwise, even though I've done HTML, I really didn't want to go through the what can I do thing with Amazon, because they only allow certain types of HTML, and I certainly did not want to have to go through all that thing and like, oh my God, what is this, and the code, and suppose you don't even know HTML code. You don't want to be going through all that stuff. You want to get this thing done, get your page created, so you can start selling your book. You're listening to the Unmarket Your Business podcast. So those are my 6 tips for you, 6 pieces of information, 6 steps, whatever you want to call it, so that you can get to bestseller. And if you do these things, I know you can. And it's not about just going in there and getting all your friends to buy from that category. I mean, definitely you can. But and then I did tell people, yes, go here and buy my book. But since you got to do this footwork, you got to do this behind the scenes work. So number 1, write a great book. from the beginning, write a great book. If you need an author coach, get an author coach. If you need someone to help you with that, get the stuff out of your head, do it. But just write a great book and make sure, number one thing, that your book solves a problem for your audience. Now, and really not just a problem, it solves the number one problem that your audience has. If you do that, that's a great book. Number two, hire a designer, because you need someone to make your book look good on the inside and the outside. And you don't want some crazy layout where it's running off the page here, where the margins are too slim, the things are, you got run-on sentences, and you shouldn't have carried this over to the next page, and the colors on your cover are looking crazy, or they're looking amateurish, or somebody in the first grade did it, unless you're writing a book for first graders. So just keep that in mind. And then number three, you need to have an awesome title. An awesome title includes your keywords and tells people exactly what your book is about. And when they're searching, it comes up. So my friend Lynda Goldman is actually putting on a masterclass for you that is totally free, that's going to tell you how exactly you need to do this. And all you need to do is go to tinyurl.com/Carol Book Title. Just click on that. The masterclass is Monday, and I hope that you sign up. So then number four is to choose the right category for your book. Choose something that's relative to what you're writing about, that your audience is going to think, okay, it's in this category, this is good, that Amazon isn't going to say, wait a minute, what's going on? So you don't want any red flags. You don't want Amazon to get on your back. You want them to be your advocate, and they want to help you sell this book, because if you sell this book and you become a bestseller, then everybody wins, right? You have a great book that's a bestseller. You're telling everybody. Everybody else will say, oh, what's about that book? I want to go buy it. All right, then number five, to go a little bit further, unlock those secret categories by going to the Kindlepreneur website and looking for them. And I'm going to put that link in the description, so all you have to do is just go there and just click it. It'll take you right there and show you how to look for them. And I followed his advice, Dave. I followed his advice word for word, exactly what he did, what the points did, and that helped me. And then finally, the fifth one is to use the description generator that he has on the site, so that you can generate a description that stands out. Because if you're looking at two of them, two descriptions side by side, you got two screens pulled up, and one has bolded type, and some of the type is bigger, the headline is bigger, it stands out. That's going to catch your eye quicker than another book that just has, regular text, and it could be the best text in the world. It's all about being visual. Some people are just really captured by that. And if you think about it, thousands of people are going to be looking through those pages where your book is, and you want them to just catch a glimpse and say, oh, wait a minute. You want to stop that scroll, right? So this will help you do it. So that's all I have for you today. I'm so glad I was able to do this. Thank you for bearing with me, being patient and all that, because sometimes life gets in the way, business gets in the way, and things have got to be done. But you got the information that you need. I want you to go out there and create your number one bestseller. I hope and pray that it's a number one international bestseller, because wouldn't that be awesome to put on your website, put on your book, and say you're an Amazon number one international bestseller? I love doing that. I love saying it, and I want that for you, and I know that you can do it. So just follow these steps. They're very easy. They're quick. You can do them. Not a lot, not difficult at all, and not very convoluted. It's very easy. So join me again next week. I'll have something more for you. Thanks a lot, and bye for now. Thanks for listening. We truly appreciate it. For information about guests, products, or services that were mentioned in this episode, log on to our website at www.csicorporation.com/unmarketing. To learn more, get a glimpse of our upcoming schedule, and join the unmarketing nation of entrepreneurs who are using marketing techniques that work right now. Until next time, keep moving forward.